Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of my A Pilot's Life, Chapter 2 series, where we are, of course, flying for Transavia, which we signed in the last episode. And we can see our lovely schedule here. So, next flight on the schedule, which we're going to be flying in today's episode, is EDDB Berlin to LFPO Paris Orly, Paris Orly being our base. Today we are flying in X-Plane 12. Now we are using the towless A321, so we should change that to A321 Neo. That's fine. And also, if we go to Volanta here, let's look at the route. So we are departing 25 left on the log D2 November departure. And then, as you can see, we are over here. Some weather here. Going to be flying all the way down here to Paris Orly, where we'll be on the Rennes 9 Whiskey approach. Rennes 9 Whiskey Star into an ILS for runway 25. Now I am running at about 1400 UTC in the sim. We are live weather using Active Sky XP, and I think it's time to get into it. So as you can see here, we are in X-Plane 12, and we did download this beautiful Transavia livery here from the X-Plane store. I believe it's from Mr. Tom Can Fly. And having said that, let's go ahead and start the flight. So, get the batteries on, external power, and get the emergency exit lights, no smoke into auto, seatbelt signs on, nav and logo position 1, wing light can go on, cruise supply, ground control on, ADAs can all go to nav, and we'll let everything self-test then. We are going to bring everything over from SimBrief. So as soon as everything finishes self-testing, we can go ahead and do that. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go to init. We'll request the routing then. Flight time today, roughly 2 hours. Not too bad. We do have an alternate of Heathrow, which is a bit far for an alternate, but that's perfectly fine. Let's request the winds as well. Perfect. So if we go to EDDB departure, we are departing 25 left on the log to November departure. So we'll insert that. Go to LFPO arrival ILS 25. There it is. On the Rennes 9 Whiskey Star. There it is. And do we have a transition? Yes, we do. Perfect. So we'll insert all of that. Let's go ahead and check the flight plan real quick for any discontinuities. But it's looking good. Right, so there's the discontinuity. What we'll do is we'll get rid of the manual and get rid of this there. Now everything should be nice and connected. There it is. Nice ILS approach into Paris Orly, which is our base. So that's all done. Let's get the APU started here then. We have to give it a second for the door to open. There it is. Perfect. Let's do our performance calculations here then. So let's increase the brightness. Okay, so reset that to current, takeoff perf. All of that is looking good. That is accurate with the current weather. We'll be doing a flex takeoff. Config 1 plus flaps aircon will be on. So that all looks perfectly fine there. Let's go to the perf page, takeoff data, uplink, and let's grab the weather from Navigraph here so we can input it in. So winds are 190 at 20. They are gusting 35 as well, so it might be a windy departure here. QNH 09902, and flaps will be 1. It is dry, so that's fine. We can go ahead and request that. Our cruise altitude today, if we look at the SimBrief OFP, I have everything up on a tablet. So cruising at 350 here then, and we do have to, let's change it here in change our cruise altitude selection in Simbit World. Go back to explain, and everything else looking good. We need to set this to 902. Perfect. APU is now on, so we can go APU bleed, disconnect the external power, go to takeoff, receive data, flex, and insert that. Lovely. So we are doing the flex takeoff then. Alrighty, let's get all the fuel pumps on and get everything disconnected here. We are pretty much ready for pushback. Get all the doors closed, all of that good stuff. Arm and cross check and get rid of the jetway. And let's get the pushback then.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
So we're going to go out here to the left.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Lovely. And we'll let the pushback tug do its thing. We are all aligned here as well. Everything else is looking good. Almost good to go. We'll close the cockpit door.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Very nice livery. Here, I'll link the livery in the description for you guys. It's a very, very nice livery indeed. 8K and 4K.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Right, so pushback is ready here. Then let's get the beacon on and go to alt off. We'll turn that on. Everything's looking good, so let's start the pushback here.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Lovely, so let's get the engines started then. And we'll go engine number 1 first. See an EasyJet just taxiing over there. There goes the fuel. And alrighty then. Fairly short taxi here to the stand, not to the stand, to the runway. Let's take a look. Show you guys. So we are departing runway 25 left. So it's just going to be pretty much straight here. Going to take the 3rd left, and then we're pretty much at the threshold of the runway. Lovely. Alright, looks like engine number 1 has a good start. Let's go engine number 2. Lovely, look at the reflections off the wing. Beautiful. You know what, let's get the flaps down to flaps 1 as well. Lovely. We are using the COSP sound pack, of course. brightness turned up a little bit here.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Right, so we set the parking brake there. Let's arm the speed brakes.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Looks like engine number 2 will be stable here in just a second as well. Perfect. So we can get APU bleed and the APU master switch off now. Don't need that. Disconnecting hand signals.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Alright, so pushback is done. We'll wait for them to show us the gear pin. Looks like they're going to go off to the left. So we'll wait for them to show us the gear pin. And then we'll taxi on out of here. There is the gear pin, lovely stuff. So we are cleared to taxi then. Nose light to taxi, runway turn-offs can go on as well. Let's release the parking brake, add a little bit of power, and off we go. Auto brake can go to max as well. Get a bit more power in for the taxi. We are flying with the CFM Elite engines today.
In the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before takeoff.
Alright, lovely stuff. Here we are almost at the runway then. But the cabin crew have finished their announcements. Let's go hit the takeoff config, check them. And looks like we are good for takeoff. We do need to turn our predicted wind shear on and our weather radar. So we get that turned on as we exit the runway. We are going to stop here. There's an aircraft on approach. So let's stop there. We'll watch him, watch them land. It looks like a Ryanair 737. Very low approach. Alright, lovely. So let's get the predicted wind shear off then, and all our weather radar. Everything else looks good. TCAS to TARA. Landing lights on. Nose light to take off. Strobe light on. Let's go.
Flight attendant, please prepare for takeoff.
I really do love the the announcements. They're really, really cool. So we have plenty of runway here. We do have an 18 knot crosswind from the left and a 9 knot headwind. So it's been an interesting takeoff. Should be perfectly fine though. Right, so we'll stop here and just wait for that Ryanair to have departed the runway, which they almost are, but we'll give it a couple of seconds. Okay, looks like they are safely off the runway. So we'll release the parking brake, go 50%. Stable and flex. Man flex. Knots. We'll release the forward pressure on the side stick. Try to maintain center line here. really feel that wind though. V1 and rotate. Look at that wind. Weathercocking us straight away. Positive rate, gear up. Go for a flyby. Yeah, look at that. Lovely stuff. Need to make a left turn here. You have some lovely ortho downloaded for this area as well. Love it when you download ortho and it looks really, really great. Sometimes you download ortho, it doesn't look particularly nice, but this area looks really, really nice. I think I used Bing, I believe. So thrust lever to climb here then. Lovely stuff. Yeah, look at that ortho. Believe Berlin Brandenburg Airport. Lovely. Like I said, beautiful ortho for this area. Looks really, really good. We will just keep hand flying the aircraft for a little bit then. So we accelerate up to 220 knots. Once we get to S speed there, we will retract the flaps. The Tolus is a brilliant flight model. Really, really nice. I love flying it. Hand flying it, I should say. So, roughly up to S speed there. Let's go and retract the flaps. We can disarm the speed brakes as well. Lovely stuff. And at that point I think we'll engage the autopilot. Lovely stuff. Autopilot 1 is engaged. And what is the transition altitude here? 5,000. So there's 5,000. We'll go to standard on the altimeter. That should have been in norm. That is my bad. Lovely departure out of Berlin. You can see that lovely jet blast just at the bottom of the screen. Those lovely CFM LEAP engines there. Zoom out a bit on the ND. Lovely stuff. We do have some really nice ortho downloaded for Paris as well. The whole area. There's 10,000 foot, so let's get the landing lights turned off, nose light, runway turn off, and the wing light can go off. Let's release the passengers as well. And what I'll do here is I will see you at our cruise altitude of 35,000 feet. Alrighty, so here we are just about to hit our top of climb here. Just about to get to flight level 350. And then we've got about 200 nautical miles to go till our top of descent here into Paris Orly. Currently flying over North Germany. Not that we can see much because it's cloudy. But what I'll do is I'll leave you with some cinematics as always, about 30 seconds. And I'll see you at the top of descent. Alrighty, so we are just about to hit our top of descent here as we descend into Paris Orly. It's very, very overcast right now, as you can see. And it is still VFR conditions in Orly according to Navigraph, but we'll see once we get closer. So it looks like our next altitude is 140, looking at my chart. So we'll select 140 here, and we'll, as soon as we get the TD reached, we'll go ahead and enable the descent. In just a second, any second now. Looks like the weather's changing as well. There's a top of descent, which you have TD reach on the PFD, and we'll go into descent mode then. Lovely stuff. And what we do need to do is enter our destination data then. So I'm going to pull up the weather for Paris Orly on my tablet here for Navigraph. Okay, so the QNH is 1001. Temperature is 12 degrees, not too bad. Wind 220 at 12. There it is. And our minimums, let's grab that then off of the charts. And our minimums is 387, and that be barometric altitude. There we are, perfect. Alright, so we've got a nice little descent going here, slightly above the profile, so we'll add some speed brake here. And I'll see you down at probably around 10,000 feet. Alrighty guys, here we are, flight level 110, that's our restriction here at Pushback. And we have made that perfectly fine as we descend here into a very cloudy and overcast Paris. Looks like we are going to be sort of holding here for a little bit before we start our descent again down to 3,000. We're still about 60 miles out, but what I will do is go down to 3,000, which is our platform altitude for the ILS, and I do want to add a fix here. So if we go up here, fix, and we go LFPO, and then we'll go with a 10 nautical mile fix. Perfect. And we can see that there. So we are still quite far out from the airport, and I'll see you just as we get established on the ILS then. Oh, and as we get down to 10,000, we should get our landing lights and all of that good stuff on. We'll seat the passengers now, and now I will see you at as we get established on the ILS. Okay, so I thought it was a good time to do our landing performance, so we'll reset that. Go to landing performance. All of this looks good here. Anti-ice will be off. It's 14 degrees in Orly. Aircon on. Brake mode, let's see here. And I think low's fine here, so we'll compute that. That looks all good to go. So we'll put auto brakes on low, and we are about 16 nautical miles out. So let's set our altimeter to 1001. As you can see there, we will be intercepting the ILS from below, as we should be. And we'll make this restriction perfectly fine here. After that, we need to be at 250 knots. After that, we'll go down to 220 and then 180. I reckon you can see our lovely ortho just about there on both sides. It's pretty dark, pretty overcast, but pretty much a straight in approach to Paris Orly now. Alright, so there's 3,000. That's our platform altitude, so we're gonna stop there. Looks like the aircraft wants to speed up. Let's set 220. So we'll be holding at 3,000 until we capture the glide slope. I will arm the approach so we capture the localizer at the least, and there's the glide slope coming in as well. Perfect, that looks good. Very nice. We are about 9 miles away. Let's get it down to 180 here. As you can see, we'll go flap 1. And we'll go flaps 2 as well, probably in just a second. There's the glide slope capture, so let's arm autopilot 2 as well. There it is. Do we have the runway? There's a runway. Perfect. And we'll get the gear down here in just a second. Help us slow down just a little bit. There we are, slowing down nicely now. Final approach speed is going to be 143 then. We'll go flaps 2. Beautiful sounds. Pretty windy here. Is 220 at 14 knots. So pretty much mostly a head-on, to be honest. Headwind, sorry. Let's go flaps 3. And we'll go final approach speed here then. You can see Paris a little bit better here. Should have a nice view of Paris off to our right hand side, I think. Yep, there's the Eiffel Tower, look at that. Brilliant. And let's go flaps 4.
Please take your seat for landing.
On the speed brakes then, alert the cabin. And we'll take manual control here in just a second. Looks like we are cleared for the landing as well, so I have control. And we are at final approach speed now, perfectly fine, about 3 miles out. Let's see what we can do on this landing then. Hopefully it's a nice smooth one. Look, beautiful approach into Paris Orly here. Only the second time flying in, first time in X-plane. First time flying to Orly was in the last episode actually. So, but definitely have to be doing some more flights from Orly, I think that's for sure. Maybe in the 350 with, was it a French bee? That might be pretty cool. Okay. Nice stable approach here actually. Do have a slight crosswind, so we are slightly crabbed. Keep it on the center line.
500. 400.
Happy say we're low, but we're right on the
300.
so well, we are a little bit low actually.
100 above.
Not too bad.
200. 100. Minimum.
There's minimums.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. 10. 5.
Alright. Decent landing. Get the reverses out, fly the nose wheel down. Lovely stuff. Get it back on the center line. Reverses are out. Auto brakes did disengage, but that's fine. We're manual braking anyway. Let's see if we can take the high speed here, which we can. Very nice. We'll slow the reverses there. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Paris Orly. Beautiful stuff. Very nice rendition of it in X-plane actually. Looks pretty good. This is just default. But anyway, let's go flaps up. Stow the speed brakes.
For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until
Okay,
the captain
and
turns
landing
off the
lights
fasten
can go
seatbelt
off.
sign. This will indicate that we have parked at the gate and
Nose
the
light to
gate is
taxi.
safe for you to move about.
Strobe light
At
can
this
go off.
time, you may use your cellular phone
TCAS
if you wish.
standby.
Please check around your
Alright.
seat for any personal belongings you may have brought on board with you, and please use caution when opening the overhead bin.
Beautiful.
Like
Let's
articles may have
find a
shifted
gate
around
then.
during the flight. If you retire the planning assistance, please remain in your seat until all other passengers have the planed. One of our crew members will then be pleased to assist you. On behalf of myself, Vera, and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board.
Okay, I think we'll just go into this stand right in front of us here. We'll get these lights off, we don't need them. We don't want to blind the ground crew. Predicted wind shear and the weather radar can go off. They emit, I believe it's a specific type of radiation that you don't want it to affect the ground crew, so that's why they get turned off before you taxi into the gate. We'll taxi in here to Alpha 2. That's going to be perfectly fine. And we'll get the engine shut down, take a look at some replays. But we'll take a look at our score on a pilot's life first, I think. We're going to go all the way to the last one here. Perfect. Let's set the parking brake there. Probably should have got the APU on. But let's just go for a shutdown here. We'll just very quickly go for this shutdown. Everything's going to go off. And all these lights can go off here. Emergency exits, all of that good stuff. All of that is already off. Unlock the door. Batteries can go off. Brilliant. Okay, let's go to a pilot's life then and submit that. Yes. Your flight has been submitted. Brilliant. Okay, so next flight is Orly. Is it Orly to Lisbon? Yeah, brilliant. So let's go to reports. Sorry, is it dashboard? And what's new? Okay, looks like we received a friend request. I'll take a look at that in a second. Where is our logbook? Right, so second flight all done. Let's take a look. And looks like we got 98. Where did we lose points? Flaps up, taxi in. I'm sure we did put our flaps up, so that's strange. We did put our flaps up, right? Maybe we did it a little bit too early as we were taxiing off the runway still. Maybe we'll do that a bit later. Let's look at the landing details here. And looks like landing rate -142, landing G-force 0.99. That was pretty good. Pretty much almost in the touchdown zone. Well, we were in the touchdown zone. Very, very close to it at least. And that was a pretty good flight, even though what flight sim we did it in and all of that good stuff. That's really, really cool there. Really cool indeed. So unfortunately didn't get the perfect score, but we'll remember to put the flaps up a little bit later next time. So alrighty, so how about we take a look at some replays then. And okay, I'll leave you with this lovely wing view of our landing into Paris Orly. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new here, please do like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. I will be getting episode 3 out fairly soon, hopefully. But that was a really great flight, and I'll see you in the next one.